welcome to the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast. I'm Ruth and I love to knit. You're very welcome here this morning. It's Tuesday the 14th of December 2021. It's just still early. Just got the kids out to school and I thought I would just jump on and do a wee podcast. I'm coming to you as always from Southwest Devon, where I live with my husband Nigel and my two kids, Eva and Samuel. Eva is 13 and Samuel has a birthday this Saturday and he'll be 12. It's the only event of the whole year that's important. He's counting down the hours, never mind the sleeps. So that's our wee family down here in the southwest of England. I'm a wee bit late podcasting this time because just life, but it's better late than never, isn't it? Where can you find me? I'm Ruth Loves to Knit Podcast on Instagram, Craftymadmidwife on Ravelry, and I have an email which is ruthlovestoknit@gmail.com. And the Instagram and the email are definitely the better ways to catch me if you want to get in touch. And do get in touch. I love to hear from people. I love to hear from the viewers, and I'm so chuffed when somebody sends me a wee email, no matter what it's about. I feel a bit disjointed this morning. You hear that from a lot of podcasters when they're out of sync. So I hope you'll bear with me. I hope you've got a coffee or tea in your project. I'm not doing Vlogmas. But if you want this to be a Vlogmas, you can just maybe switch off after 10 minutes and come back later. I have to take my hat off to all those who are doing Vlogmas. There's been many times this month when things have happened in our house and I think that's another reason why I don't do Vlogmas. We don't have a very exciting life, and we only put the decorations up on Saturday, and yeah, I'm trying to not change them. The kids put them up. I used to have this beautifully coordinated tree and now it just looks like they just stood and threw every decoration we own onto it. But I'm trying to let it go, as the song says. So I hope you're enjoying this season. I hope you're enjoying the Vlogmases that so many people are working so hard at. But I hope you'll enjoy this bit of a longer Vlogmas episode today, and that you'll just take it in your stride. If you can't watch the whole thing, don't you worry, just turn off, come back later. But I hope that maybe you'll find a wee nook in your month that you can spend some time with me, and we'll have some cozy, warm knitty goodness this morning. Now, what to have to say, as always, I'm looking down at my notes, as if you've watched before, you know I could go all over the place. So I have obviously got notes this morning, and I've got my wee friend visiting me too this morning. Don't know where he came from. So what have I got for you today? Well, first of all, I have to apologise. If you watched last week, our last episode, you know that I got a rocking chair and I brought it up to my craft room, and I've just realised it's not the ideal thing to sit in for this podcast because I will be moving, whether I realise I am or not, and I apologise if that annoys you. I think I'll have to change back to a desk chair for the next time. But anyway, I'm on my granny rocking chair for today and we'll see how it goes. The other apology I have to make is last time I mentioned a hat. It's the Fin hat by Miss Mandy Lou, but Amanda Long on Ravelry. I'll put a wee picture. What way am I going to put my pictures today? Up here. I'll put a wee picture, and I said it's a gorgeous hat. I've knit several of them, and I said it's only about £3 or £4. I apologise. The pattern is £1.50. £1.50. I don't know what that is in dollars, but it's not very much for a really fantastic pattern. And all proceeds go to Cancer Research UK. And I know some of you lovely folk messaged me to say that you had bought that pattern, but I just want to apologise. I mean, surely £1.50 is in everybody's budget. And it's a fantastic wee hat pattern. So sorry, Amanda, if I put anybody off by saying the price of the hat pattern, but there you go. Hopefully you'll accept my apology. And do go and have a wee look at the pattern if you think you've a wee hat still in you before Christmas. Then another wee picture, hopefully I'll put up. The Marie Curie sock quest has finished for this year. I'm sure if you've watched my podcast before, you saw the yellow socks. I mean, it's a quest that is made for me. Socks, although I did lose my emoji a wee bit, and yellow. And there was a post put up on the Instagram from, I always forget, yep, the Marie Curie sock quest. And Sarah put up that there was over 220, she hasn't actually finished the total amount, 220 pairs of socks made, which is just fantastic to think that somebody maybe in their end stages of life at this time of year, or maybe for their families, or people who are just going through the rigours of cancer, could have just a cheer me up yellow pair of socks. So thank you to anybody on Sarah's behalf who made some socks for the sock quest, and I'm sure she'll be running it again next year. She's run it for the last few years, and I was very chuffed to see a pair of mine in the photograph. A little bit, 5 seconds of fame. But yeah, so that's wrapped up for the year too. And then the other thing I just wanted to say, we will get started on the knitting at some point, I promise. The other thing I just wanted to say was, as you know, a few months ago, I monetized this channel. Thank you so much for subscribing and to enable me to monetize the channel. And as you know, I send any money that I make from the ad revenue to the hospital in Bangladesh, where I worked for quite a few years as a midwife. And I think it's maybe only about 4 months that I've been monetized, and I've been able to, as of 20th of this month, because that's when YouTube let you have it, I will have sent £237 to the hospital, and that's from some Ko-fi donations too. Oh dear, words today. I just want to thank you. The difference that'll make. It might not make a big difference here, but it would make a massive, massive difference in a country like Bangladesh. And I just can't thank you enough for just letting the ads run, or watching them if that's what you do. And every little counts for the hospital over there. So I'll be sending that off later on this month when that comes in. And just thanks again. It's just such a great way, easy way to make money for a fantastic place that's helping people so much less fortunate than ourselves. Then, more 7 minutes in, we haven't done any knitting. Then, maybe last month, I hit the 2000k mark of subscribers. Again, thank you so much. 2,000 plus people listening to my ramblings. Thank you so much. But of course, the tradition is to do a 2k giveaway. And I have set up a 2k giveaway for this episode. I'm also 1 year anniversary on the 5th of January, but I have a lovely wee package getting sorted, English, for that as well. I'm just waiting for a couple of wee things to come in, but I'll show you what I have for, it might be a bit of rustling, sorry. Show you what I have for the 2k giveaway. It's worldwide. It's open to anybody. Obviously, it won't be sent till January. If you live outside the UK, I'm afraid it'll be sent the cheapest way, but I've always had no problems getting things over borders, sea, whatever. And this is what I want to give away. So, sorry, rustling. So I have this from the Yarn Works. Well, I don't know if I would use this as a sock blocker, but it's fantastic for socks. If you want to, well, there's a needle gauge, there's the size of the socks, and there's this comes out and in. I don't want to take it out of the packet. This comes out and in for the different sizes socks, and it can be pulled out to monster socks if you want to. So that's the first part, and it's got the inches up the side. It's made of wood, and then the crinkly thing down, and then this gorgeous skein, or well, sock set, super sock set. 75% merino, 25% nylon, and it's gunmetal flash. And this is from Woolly Adventures. Now, this is girl who dyes this, oh dear me, lives in the next town to my mum and dad in Northern Ireland. So I wanted to showcase some Northern Irish, very local to where my parents live, yarn. And you can find her online. She doesn't have the, it says world domination, one colourful scheme at a time. Absolutely. So that's also in it. Just beautiful. Gorgeous. And hopefully that wee colour would suit most people. And then lastly, a wee bag, a wee sock bag from my gorgeous friend Jeanette from Craftycleggcreations. Now I've had this for a wee while, but I've never used it, and I thought that would just be perfect. So never be able to hold all these up, will I? So that's that's what I want to give away for my 2K giveaway. And what I want you to do is I want you to tell me where you're from. Not difficult. It blows my mind. If you look at YouTube analytics, not that I do very often, but it shows you where people are from, but it's very, you know, America, Australia, whatever. I'd love to know where you're from. They don't give me your address, obviously, but it would just be amazing to know where in the world you're watching from. My wee tiny craft room in southwest of England, and yet reaching people all over the world. So that's all I want you to do for that wee giveaway, and I will announce that in the next podcast. So or actually maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should leave it a bit longer. Have to think about that, but I'll put the closing date down below. Maybe I'll say the 31st of December. Be done with that. So if you want to enter and be the chance to win a wee skein, the sock ruler and a lovely bag, just tell me where you're from. There you are. Nothing too hard. My brain can't cope with anything too difficult. So that's the giveaway. So 11 minutes and we're starting the knitting. If you're still with me, thank you very much. Is that everything I wanted to say? Yes, that's everything I wanted to say. So will we start on FOs? Just get a wee drink because I'm already going dry. And my wee mug that my daughter brought me back a couple of years ago from the school jumble sale. But sure, it's great. Wee Christmas mug. Let me see. So FOs, another bit of a jumble. If you remember from last time, I was knitting a pair of socks for one of my viewers. And I was a bit worried that they were too big. So I was knitting another pair of socks. So I finished those. I sent them off and I was right. The first pair of socks were a wee bit loose on her, but the second pair of socks were a great fit. So we're only a size 5. So 60 stitches on a 2.25 millimeter needle was the golden ticket. That was a sweet spot, and those fitted her great, and she's received those already. I showed a wee baby cardigan last time. That's gone to its recipient too. But obviously I haven't got a picture of the baby wearing it. That's not up to me to post that. Very cute baby, very cute cardigan. So those two have been sent off. Then my next FO are this wee pair of socks. Also a size 5. I'll knit anything 5, 4, 3, no problem. I'm a size 8. They're too big for this time of year. And they are just done in King Cole Zigzag in the colourway Acrobat. I just got those in my local yarn shop. Woolly Beater in Oakhampton, who does online. If you want to order any, they have. I was just in the other day actually, and they have an amazing array of Regia sock yarn. So if you're in the UK and you want to get some Regia sock yarn, maybe that's the place to go. But anyway, sorry. There is a local recovery centre for addiction recovery centre for women near us, and I go in to volunteer one day a fortnight, sorry. I go in and do devotions with the ladies on a Thursday morning, and before the first lockdown, remember way back, I taught some of the original ladies to knit, and some of them knit dishcloths, some of them started socks, but of course then the hammer came down and I couldn't go back in, and I haven't been able to go in like that with this new group of women. But one of them always comments on my shawls or my jumpers or whatever, and I always have a sock project in my bag, and I was showing her what I was knitting, and she said, would you ever be able to do a pair of those for my daughter-in-law? So these are for her. I'm going in on Thursday, so I'll take those, I'll wrap them up nicely for her, and that's a nice wee gift for her daughter-in-law. Nothing to say. Because they're a size 5, I took the sweet spot that I did for Tony, and I did them 60 stitches on a 2.25, and I just did the shadow wrap heel, which is absolutely my go-to favorite heel now, and I just did a wedge toe. So I think those should be nice, and her favorite color apparently is purple, so I think I hit the nail on the head. So that's just a wee pair of vanilla socks. Then this is a bit of a cheaty one. Last time I showed you a finished object, but it hadn't been blocked or anything, so I have blocked and worn several times the get it around the right way, yes, the brush strokes by Tiff Neilan, and that's I put a wee picture of me very sheepishly wearing it. And it is so toasty warm, but it's really weird. It's done in Witchcrafty Lady Poledale, Falkland Poledale yarn, and you would think it's so DK and it's so cozy, but it's so light. I wore it last Thursday to knit group, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to peel this off, and I didn't. It was fantastic. So it's just simple colour work in my 1970s brown, but I love it. I just love it. And then I think I said, I'm not going into it too much, because if you want to see all the really details, I talked a lot about it in the last couple. And then she had these really long cuffs, but I must have shorty arms, and I did about 1.5 inches shorter on the cuffs, and I actually have to fold them up every so often. But I'm chuffed to bits with that. Really, really lovely pattern to knit. So that just wanted, oh, and missed the piece de resistance. There's the bottom of it with the lovely lateral braid, and then the lovely lace work. Just something a wee bit different, isn't it? And you can see I have actually got this, I think I've got this up on Ravelry, I'm not 100% sure. But yes, you should be able to see the wee photograph, and it's definitely one you can wear without a coat, because it's lovely and cozy. So that was a wee cheaty. I finished that last time, but I thought I would just show you the beautiful when it's blocked. Okay, and then everybody keeps saying the elephant in the room, but I don't like to call myself an elephant. But I'm wearing a finished object. Showed this last time. This is a test knit for the lovely Isabel Kramer. I love test knitting for Isabel. I love all her designs. She's probably my favourite designer. I don't know, obviously she's the professional, I'm not, but nearly every time she puts out a pattern that I've knit, I never need to change needle size. Gauge is always bang on, and although she is a beautifully slim elfin person, and I'm not, she still manages to make designs that suit all body types. So this is the Forager Light. You maybe have noticed she has an original Forager, I think it's in a DK. I have it in my queue, but I haven't knit it, but I prefer this so much better, I think. Now, in her photograph, let me see if I've got it. Yes, sorry, it's a very well worn pattern. Her neckline is much wider than mine, and it's much longer, but as you can see, she doesn't have the baby belly. Can I say I've got a baby belly whenever my son's turning 12 on Saturday? But I do think I might block it out just a wee bit more, but I was kind of rushing to get it done because I was fed up showing you, oh look, I finished this, but it's not blocked. And so the long sleeves and beautiful detail, mock cables down the sleeves. Now, it's a 4 row repeat. There may be a few little design features because apparently I can't count to 4. So there may be just a few little 5s in there, but we'll not talk about those. And she has a much longer cuff on her sleeve, but one of the lovely ladies in the tester had shown her finished object, and I just loved, I'm not showing you this very well, I just loved the finish of that. So I did a pearl round, and then I did twisted pearl and twisted knit stitch. I just love the way it finishes, almost rustic really, isn't it? And then, now I'm on a rocking chair, this is all going to go wrong, isn't it? Then, oh, it's the cable the whole way down. If you see a 5, just ignore it, and then just a wee, and I'm just wearing it with a wee dress, and I've made it slightly cropped. I can't, ooh, no, can't show you. Just showed you a horrible picture of my stomach. Sorry, the farmers just let a load of sheep into the field. I can see from my window, not distracting at all. Sorry, yes. And I just did the same for the hem as I did for the cuffs. And I've knit this out of woolly knit from a cone, yarn to cone, and it is Terra Beige Nap, and it does obviously have a beautiful wee nap. I mean, I said last week I was worried that this would just blend with my face, would blend with my hair. Well, my face is red because I'm wearing a jumper inside. The light is shining off my grey hair as always. But I think it's all right. I really like it. And then I've got like a terracotta coloured dress underneath it, so kind of breaks it up. So I would really, really recommend this yarn. Cheap as chips. I think I got this in a sale, and I think full price, I think it's £15 for 5, no, I'm not going to quote that. Go and check it out, but I got it in a sale anyway, and there's 500 grams in a cone, and I used 246 for a size 7, and I am not, I'm not small, so there's another, I'd say at least a short sleeve top could be made in this. It is a light fingering. And when I was knitting it, it was as light as a feather. Normally I knit about 2 inches below sleeve separation and then knit the sleeves, but because it was a cone, I just knit right down the body. I didn't want any joins, and there was no bother at having to keep turning the work and all the rest of it. It was just a pleasure to knit with. Now it is 100% merino, so it probably will pill, but sure, we've all got gleaners, we've all got depillers. But as I say, I might stretch the neck out a wee bit, but it's not bothering me. It's not itchy. Excuse me. It's not itchy. It's not bothering me at all. And definitely a lovely new sweater, and light, really light, for my wardrobe. And so I say there's still 250 grams left on that. So there's definitely another project in that. So that's Woolly Knit. It's a British company online. I think they probably do international shipping, but I don't know. And I have a couple more cones, so you will see them again. So that's the Forager Light. So that's my finished objects. Some I have with me, some I've sent on, and 2 sweaters. So happy enough. I do find now with the dresses, knitting a wee bit, not cropped, obviously I'm not a crop person, but just a wee bit shorter does sit lovely with the dresses, and I did the same with the brushstrokes sweater too. So that's that. Anything else I want to say? No, I think that's this for now. So will we talk about whips? Let me see what we're doing with whips. So I have always got a pair of socks on the go. I think, well, I want to say my sock mojo is back, but not for pattern socks, just for vanilla socks that I can pick up, take to knit group, have in the kitchen when I'm cooking dinner, or in my handbag. I always have a knitting project in my handbag for those waiting moments and hospital visits or whatever, you know. So this one is in my lovely, from Crafty Cleggs, my lovely friend Jeanette. This is Froome Hill. Well, no, that's not what they call it. Is it Catherine Hill in Froome, which is in Somerset? And it's just gorgeous. Usual Crafty Cleggs quality. And it's just, I don't think that has to be Christmas. I think that can take me right through to March. And beautiful, and inside too, just the snow. Really gorgeous. And I actually started knitting these on the plane to Ireland. And it was a very bad choice because we travelled at night. I'm trying to find the one that I finished. It's a half finished object. We're travelling at night, and obviously you have to turn the lights off in the body of the plane at night, and I didn't like to turn on the reading lamp because it might have annoyed people. So I was kind of like knitting in the cinema, and I'm knitting with dark yarn. But this is one of my and it's just a vanilla sock, nothing too exciting, although if you don't knit socks it is exciting. And this, I thought this was gorgeous. I actually started using this for another project If you remember, I started the Curvette shawl by Stephen West, but ripped it back. Wasn't for me. And this was my sort of pop of colour, as he calls it, and I'm now knitting socks with it. And it's just, again, I've totally adopted the Shadow Wrap heel. Absolutely love it. Fits me really well. Love the fact that there's no picking up stitches or anything. And then I've just done a wedge toe in this. I generally do a umbrella toe that the Bakery Bears do, because I think I said before, when I was a teenager I fell down the stairs, broke all my toes, so I have very attractive feet. And the umbrella, the shape of the umbrella toe, sorry if you're eating, sorry if you've just spat your tea out, the umbrella toe fits me better, but I was on the plane and this was just the easiest one to do. And this yarn, I've started the other one as well, and this yarn is just, I'll show you the, look, you know, there's nothing like coordinating. Sure, there's not. I always pull from the centre and I always use these wee cakes. I think this is from Amelia X Joy, and that's just the beautiful yarn, and it is from Needle & Thread, and it is called Disco Goth, and it's 425 meters of 4-ply fingering, 75% blue face Leicester and 25% nylon. Great for socks, shawls and sweaters. There we go, Needle & Thread. I think they had a very, very good sale. There's a thing in my dad's from Ballymena, Northern Ireland, and they talk about a Ballymena man loves a good bargain, and I think I'm definitely his daughter. I often buy in sales on eBay from Destashes, and that's how I get most of my really gorgeous yarn. But that's Needle & Thread, and I really love it. So that's just a wee pair of vanilla socks that will just be on these are for me, on 2.25, and I do 64 stitches, and I have to say I'm a size 8. So there's a wee bit of knitting in it, but I could show you my bag again. Isn't that just gorgeous? I just love it. I could just sit and look at it. So atmospheric. And someday I'll go, it's not that, it's a couple of hours from us, but someday I'll go and see, and there's a beautiful yarn shop there too, so someday I'll go and see it. So that's that. Then last time I talked about the fairy ring cardigan. I'll show you a picture. Not sure where I'm going to put them. That I was doing from Katie Green, and oh sorry, I just reached down, and it's in my lovely big sweater bag from I think this is a SoCan Joe. Yeah, SoCan Joe. I said last week she doesn't have a shop written, but if you message her on Instagram, she can make you things. Sorry, the wool's in a rustly bag, which is everybody's annoyance on here. Just make sure. Yep, that's it. And I think I told you that I joined John Arbon. The actual cardigan is made with John Arbon yarn, but I wanted to use all stash yarn, and I watched a chat with John Arbon and Katie Green, and the first thing she said was, this pattern is not for the faint-hearted, and she admitted that she designed the pattern but she didn't write the pattern, and there's very few. She only, I think, had 2 or 3 test knitters, so I think she got into my head. Does that happen to you? That you just decide because the designer says it's difficult that it's difficult, and that it got into my head, and I made it a big deal. But I've finished the colour work, so I'm over the worst of it. I just show you the lovely wee pattern book. This is, get around the right way. This is how she did her pattern. It was actually cheaper to buy it this way than digital, and when you bought it this way, you got the digital pattern with it. But the adult is on the front and the child is on the back. Well, how many times have I opened this book and on the child's design and knitted a few stitches? So this is the right way up. But so it's the Fairy Ring Cardigan by Katie Green. She's Katie Green Bean online. And let me see if I get it round the right way, just show you a bit. Now, I have learned so much doing this. I am not a colour work expert by any means. I've done a handful of colour work projects, jumper, different things, but this was 3-stranded colour work, and I've decided to make it 4-stranded colour work. All will be revealed. I'll show you this first. Stop talking, Ruth. So it's a provisional cast on, and then I finished the, oh, that's the front. So it's a steeked cardigan. So there's your steek. You see the odd looking stitches. Could I show this any worse? There's your steek. Okay, so you'll cut that up. Provisional cast on, so then you'll take that out and knit up the collar. And there are my toadstools. Don't look too carefully. Those are in there because I did it wrong. And I'm just going to duplicate stitch over it to correct it. I'm not going back. Also, you can see, so I need to sort that out. As I say, I have never done a, what do you call it? 3-stranded colour work, and I put them round the wrong way. I learnt so much, but sadly I didn't learn it till I was about 3/4 of the way through. So that will all be corrected, don't worry. But I think you get the gist of what it looks like. Obviously needs blocked out. Now this isn't for me, just tell you that now. So I had shown a picture on Instagram of me pulling back. So I had knit it all. Thought, great, I'll just keep knitting the brown. There's a wee lace, she calls it, I think, I just started scratching. She calls it a lace stitch, and it's the grey, but I'm not doing that because I just think a cardigan with all colour work the whole way down would just be so warm. So I'm just doing it plain brown. Got to the splitting of the sleeves, thought I was the girl, and realised I'd forgotten to change needle size because obviously you do the colour work in a larger needle. So I had to rip the whole way back. Thankfully not the colour work. I think I would have cried if I had to rip back the colour work. And I'm now on the correct needle, and I do definitely prefer the beautifully neat. Do prefer the stitch definition on the smaller needle, but obviously it'll take longer. So I had split for sleeves, but now I'm almost back to square one. So what yarn am I using? I am using, sorry, it's very rustly. So for, well, let me see where I am. Oh, I forgot to bring the green out. Sorry, the green is you literally needed, for the green, you needed like 10 grams. It was so little, so it was just a wee random skein. The green there was just a wee random skein of double knit that I had. Can't even remember the make of it. Anyway, that was double knit. Then I didn't want to buy anything, so the grey that I used, that's all I've got left out of a 100 gram skein of DK. Obviously I would use a lot more if I was doing the wee lace stitch. Is a Cascade 220 from the Heathered, and like again I had that in my stash. Got all my wee things here, just want to get the right one. Yep, Cascade Heathers in the colourway 9491, but it's just grey. That was a DK. Then the actual wool, the brown, is from Woolly Knit again. British Naturals, pure wool, DK, Woolly Knit. A bag of 10, now they're 50 gram balls, was $9.99 in the sale. Obviously it wasn't that originally, and it's natural dark brown, and it does have like a wee white kind of hairy thing through it. That sounds really good, you really want to wear that, but that's what the main colour is. And then I had a lovely red, and be perfect for the toadstools. Just gorgeous. Then I realised it was 4-ply. So instead of 3-stranded colour work, I did 4-stranded colour work. Never make life easy for myself. And that is also a Cascade yarn, fingering, Cascade 220 in the colourway 9409. It's absolutely gorgeous. 50 gram ball, and I just held it double. Just like to make life really, excuse my chewed nails, really difficult for myself, but it was just the perfect red. So that was that. And then the white for the stocks was lovely Hannah, from my friend Hannah, from Hannah's Happy Space. She had a wee one in her stash, and that was the only thing I would have had to buy. So she gave me that. Again, it's from exactly the same make and texture as the dark brown. And it's ecru. Yeah, ecru, but it's white, really. And then, so it's a steek cardigan, obviously, I said. So I have steeked a few things years ago. So we'll see how it goes. I have been promised help. Sorry, more rustling. I'm trying to get this open. And on Katie's website or on her Etsy shop, she was selling this beautiful ribbon to go over your steek. So I just thought, if you're going to do it, you have to do it right. So that'll go down the inside of my steek. Yeah. Watch this space. We'll see what happens. I'm making no promises. So we'll see what happens. I have a few little, what would you say, corrections to make on the colour work. But as I say, I've really learned so much of how to guide your yarn over and under and all the rest of it, and it was totally new to me. So I'm really chuffed that I've learned those skills, and I really, in the new year, really want to do more colour work. But that's just it. I think it's effective, isn't it? I think it is. Yeah, I think it's lovely. So that is it's all just knitting, plain knitting now, so it won't be too exciting for the next wee while, but perfect for over the Christmas period, whenever, hoping that things in the UK, they are getting a bit stricter again, but I'm hoping that it won't be too strict, because my mum and dad have booked to come and see us. So who knows, we just have to take whatever rules are put upon us and deal with it, really, don't we? And then I had said that I had applied for a test knit with the Woolly Badger, which is Jackie Badger on, that's her surname, on the Woolly Badger on Instagram, and she, for the big Jimmy Jab, very good name, for the big Jimmy Jab sweater test knit. And there's always a story with me, isn't there? And it's in my massive sweater bag. I have this material, but I don't sew. My mummy bought me a sewing machine a few years ago, and I've actually lent it to the ladies at the recovery centre because it terrifies me. She is a beautiful seamstress. She made my wedding dress. She's made clothes all of our lives, but I have not got that gene. I have not got that skill. So whenever you have the material and you know a lovely maker, I got lovely Melly from Ricracroom, and she did it so quick and had it back to me. And I actually had quite a bit of this left over, and we did a swap. She kept the material, a beautiful linen base, perfect, and pockets inside too. And so I'll show you. This is obviously it's not going to be the final photograph. It's a short sleeve DK slip stitch pattern. I haven't got an awful lot of it done. But I'll show you what I have got done, because I was wanting to get that other test knit. That other test knit deadline was the 18th of December. This is not till the end of January. So, but you can see I've got the yoke done, and you can see that really should have put this in a bigger needle. I do apologise. Professionalism's just, you can see the pattern is starting to show nice and bright. And I'm doing a size 7, and I usually do a size 7, so I'm hoping it fits, but I think I might have got my measurements wrong, so it might go to somebody else, but I keep knitting anyway. I'm using, in my wisdom in the dark winter nights, navy. I had to rip back last night because I wasn't paying attention, and ripping back and picking up navy stitches is a curse, but it's going to be gorgeous when it's finished. And the yarn I'm using is stuff from my stash. I decided it would be actually quite nice to have a sweater, a short sleeve, a sweater that doesn't need special care. So I'm using Stylecraft Special DK in Midnight. I had quite a few of these in my stash. Oh, my stomach's rumbling, I do apologise. And the colourful one, I'll find the tag, is this beauty. And this is Patons Fab DK in the colour, well, it's not got a colourway, it's 02324, and I got this from The Range, which is it's a shop that sells everything from a needle to an anchor in the UK. It sells craft things, it sells food, it sells decorations, everything. I got it quite a while ago. So it's both acrylic, but really nice to knit with, not squeaky acrylic as sometimes you hear people saying, and I think that's just going to sit lovely, really brighten up the navy, and it's only for quite, you know, maybe 16 rows. So hopefully we'll get that colour work done, and that's 2 very easy projects for the Christmas period. Now I have forgotten a project. Where have I put my project? Just bear with. Sorry about that. My old head. Yes, so another project, my last whip, I promise, is a project that I really struggled with, yet 600 plus people had done it on Ravelry, and it's the Press Flowers Shawl by Savory Knits. Let me just, yeah, Savory Knitting, sorry, Savory Knitting. And I had knit things from her before, but just somehow I wasn't in the right headspace. It was charted, which usually isn't a problem. I blew up the charts to a bigger size, but I just could not get to terms, get to grips with it. And I was decided, so I put it in the naughty corner and was annoyed with it. But on Saturday I had the chance to go into Oakhampton again to the Woolly Beater, and my lovely friend Sarah was working. And I said, listen Sarah, can we between us work this out? And she said she did nothing, but I've always been the sort of person who, I'm used to say that I verbalize to visualize. So talking through it, I cracked it, and it's not hard at all. I think sometimes you're just not in the right headspace, or I am a big overthinker sometimes whenever it comes to knitting patterns. What does that mean? What does it mean by that? And I think we've cracked it this time. Famous last words. So it's in my lovely bag from Mozambique that my friends brought me when they came back to Northern Ireland for a wee trip. And I'm using these beautiful skeins from the Woolly Witchcraft. If you are looking for try not to drop it on the floor. If you're looking for a really good, generous skein of DK, her choice is just amazing. I'll put the details down below. It's Woolly Witchcraft, and it's on Etsy. And so this is lime. Just double check that this is the right one. Yes, this is lime. Lovely grassy green, matching my bucket up there. And this is teal. And I just love them, and they're so nice to knit with. It's what I did my jumper in. Oh, everything's everywhere here. And this is what I've done. So now you'll say we haven't done much, but believe me, after the struggle I had, I think you can see the flowers, can't you? I am really chuffed with this because I do not know why, but I just couldn't get to grips with it. But I love the colours together. And it's going to be a really warm and toasty shawl. Maybe that shows it better. And I'm really, really pleased with that. So we need our local yarn shops, don't we? We need the help of the people that know what they're talking about, and it's just good. 2 heads are definitely better than one, and hopefully. So that's my projects for over Christmas. Although if you've watched this podcast before, you know there could possibly be, dear knows, other cast-ons. I make no promises. I've learnt, and you've probably learned, that what I say isn't always to be followed with knitwear knitting is concerned. But so that's the vanilla socks, the fairy ring cardigan, the big Jimmy Jab, and the pressed flowers shawl. So there's simple knitting, there's more complicated knitting, there's knitting for chatting, there's knitting for watching Christmas movies, and we'll see what comes out in a few weeks. If you are thinking about a Christmas cast on, lovely friend Anne of Tuckadori, she on Instagram, or Thistle Glen Designs on Ravelry has brought out 2 new sock patterns. Now they're toe-up sock patterns, which I am not a fan of, but I don't think I've given them a chance. I just like to cast on, knit down, but I have several skeins of yarn that I would like to try toe-up because I'm not sure how, much yarn will do for the socks. So if you're in the mood for a Christmas Eve cast on, I know an awful lot of people do Christmas Eve cast ons, maybe you could think of these socks, and one is called All Is Bright and one is called All Is Calm, and hopefully I get this right. This is All Is Bright, And the next photograph I'll show you is all is calm. And if you're interested in a new sock pattern, she's also doing a 3 for 2 on all of her patterns, so that might be a nice wee chance to maybe bless somebody with a wee free pattern or a wee gifty pattern, or just get some yourself. But for these socks, she's given 20% to Kids for Schools, which is an organisation which works with children in Tanzania, where you can sponsor a child. So I just love a pattern that you do some good out of it too. And then if you're looking for another wee Christmas Eve cast on, not too much thought, needing just a wee simple, no, it's maybe not so simple, but are a pair of mitts, which are called the Ice Dancing Mitts, and that's a free pattern, and they're by Nicky Winterton of the Sheep and Cheerful podcast, and you can find those on Ravelry too. And maybe that's just enough for a Christmas Eve cast on, where you've just got a small project that you can pick up through the Christmas period. I think that might be it. Waffle, 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 waffle. Sorry, my nose is itchy, all this fluff. I think maybe I'll try and podcast, as I said last time, in the Crimbo Limbo week between Christmas and New Year, and just do a bit of a roundup. I'm sure lots of podcasters will be doing that, of my whips that have been languishing. Maybe you know what? I'm not even going to say my plans for 2022, because who needs plans? Let's just go where we feel like going. Let's just enjoy our knitting. Let's just see what comes. My only thing is I would really want to use my stash, although I said that last year, and I did really, really well till my birthday in March. And I have a big birthday in March this year. And I really want to knit from some of my books. The yarn and patterns just glitter to me. I'm like a magpie, but I have beautiful pattern books, and I really, really want to knit something out of those and using my stash. So we'll see how that goes. Who knows? Who knows? So we'll see what happens, but hopefully I will podcast again before the year is out. I always finish my podcast with a little scripture or a little thought from God's word, and I know that's not for everybody. I don't expect everybody to stay and listen. If it's not for you, or maybe this will be the one episode you do stay and listen, I just really pray that you will have a really, really lovely holiday period. If you celebrate Christmas, happy Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you manage some time with family and friends. I hope that you get to sit down with your knitting, don't get too stressed about things, and that you will just have a really restful, peaceful time through the Christmas period. Thanks again for supporting me with this little podcast. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope I'll see you before the new year. But if not, I would say happy Christmas and look after yourselves. Bye. And if you are staying with me, just something very, very simple. You know, I don't go into deep theology, but I just want to say, are you ready for Christmas? Have you been asked that 1,000 times in the last few weeks? Every time you meet somebody in work or meet somebody in the shops, they maybe say, are you ready for Christmas? And maybe you have still a massive long list of things to do, things to prepare for. Often the mum in the family is the one who ends up with all the things to do. My husband every year acts as if he knows what the kids are getting and that he's done all the shopping and takes a lot of the credit, but it's sometimes the mums or the ladies in the house that do the extra, aren't it? Maybe that's a blanket statement. I apologise if that offends anybody. But last year, many of us had a much quieter Christmas, didn't we? Many around the world were in lockdown. Many couldn't see family and friends. So maybe this year you're going all out. You just think, oh, I am just blowing the budget. I am decorating the house. We are eating all the food and we are just going to go for it. But who, just because I can, but especially here in the UK, things are changing literally every week. So we just have to deal with it. We just have to take what comes and keep to the rules. And as I said before, my parents are still hoping to fly over, but who knows, plans can change. And for many around the world, we're preparing for Christmas and getting ready. But for many around the world, we have lost the reason the real reason for Christmas. You know, we can get so lost under the tinsel and the decorations and the rush and the bustle and spending money and treating each other, and which is all good, don't get me wrong. I love a good Christmas present, but you know, we definitely lose the real true meaning of Christmas. You know, that meaning was that Jesus came down to this old earth from the splendour and beauty of heaven to really, really humble beginnings. He came for you and for me. And in the rush and bustle of life, especially in these couple of weeks, we can so easily overlook the real reason for Christmas. And I would encourage you to take some time this Christmas season to reread the Christmas story. Remind yourself of the amazing train of events and miracles that led up to Christmas and the birth of Jesus and afterwards. Or maybe it's the first time you would actually even read the Christmas story. I really encourage you to go to the Gospels, beginning of the New Testament, and Luke would be a good one to go for, and just sit down in the quietness of your, I don't know, your just wee corner and just read through the Christmas story again. Take time to dwell on the real meaning of Christmas. It's the celebration of an incredible act of love. You know, 1 John, chapter 4, verse 9 to 10 says, God showed how much he loved us by sending us his one and only Son into the world so that we might have eternal life through him. This is real love. Not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son as a sacrifice to take away our sins. Through God sending his Son for us, he provided a way for us to spend eternity with him in heaven. Jesus came to earth because we needed a saviour. That was true then, that's true now. He went through every trial and tribulation and human expression and experience that was thrown at him in his time on earth. So he can empathise with our every emotion, every situation, every worry, because he's gone through it too. You know, these past few years haven't been easy for anyone. I don't care where you live, what your situation is. We've all faced really hard times. I've received so many emails from folk that are hurting, that are just really struggling. Maybe you actually dread Christmas, the Christmas period, for numerous reasons. Maybe you'll be alone this Christmas. Maybe you'll be surrounded with people this Christmas. Maybe you're working. I spent many, many Christmases working as a midwife. Maybe you don't celebrate Christmas. Maybe you've never celebrated Christmas. Maybe it's your favourite time of the year, but you don't know anything beyond decorations, presents and sprouts. Whatever your situation, I want to remind you today that God loves you. You are loved. I pray that this year will be the one when you realise the true meaning of Christmas and receive the most special gift of all, the free gift of salvation. Saying sorry for the things you've done wrong and putting your faith in God and asking him to be the centre of your life and asking him to come in and make a difference in your life. You know, I've seen the following wee passage attributed to many people, and I don't actually know who wrote it, but I just thought it was fantastic. Just to finish off my wee podcast, and it just says, may you be filled with the wonder of Mary, the obedience of Joseph, the joy of the angels, the eagerness of the shepherds, the determination of the Magi, and the peace of the Christ child. Almighty God bless you now and forevermore. Amen. And as we head into the Christmas period, Christmas season proper, whatever emotion you're feeling, whatever stress you're under, whatever way that you're having to live at the moment with these restrictions, or maybe you have total freedom, remember God loves you. God sent his tiny baby, God sent his Son as a tiny baby down to a really very humble start for you. Even if you were the only person on earth, he would have still sent his Son. And I hope that stays with you as you're wrapping your presents, as you're cooking your turkey, whatever your Christmas tradition is. But if you don't celebrate Christmas, if you've never had the reality in your life of what Christmas is about, get in touch. If I can help you with anything to do with our faith, not our religion, our faith. And I pray that you would get in touch. And this Christmas, what a different Christmas you could have. Thank you so much if you stayed with me for this long. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. I hope you've got some sort of knitting bit out of it. I hope you've had a wee touch from what I've said today. But above all, I pray for a very peaceful, happy Christmas to those who know and love the Lord, and for those who are still seeking. I hope I see you, as I said, before the year's out, but if I don't, I wish you a really lovely time with, hopefully with family and friends, who knows. But just remember, no matter what happens on the day, God is with you, you're never alone, and He loves you. Okay, that's me, finally done. And just remember, at the end of the day, just keep on knitting. God bless. Bye.